Leave the past right where it's at. Be more heart and less attack.
You have, 'cause it's you in the mirror staring back, quick to let go and slow to react. Be more heart and less attack.
Ever growing, steadfast, and if need be, the one that's in the gap. Be the never turning back, twice the heart that anyone could have.
Be the wheels, not the track. Be the wanderer that's coming back. Leave the past right where it's at. Be more heart and less attack. Be more heart and less attack. Be more heart and less attack.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Church in Albany, where our mission is to awaken to and embrace, I think it's coming up, the Christ in all persons through prayer and service. You're welcome to join us in that. Welcome. So as we center in this morning, I want to share a few words with you, and if it feels right, feel free to close your eyes and settle in. A time will come when you will empty out into the universe, taking to your heart the light of the ages. Now and long ago, you will spread as dandelion wings into the vast distances of past and future, and be filled with all the splendors of the heavens. You will hear your name chanted through the void in strange and lovely languages, inviting you to follow and expand. And you will be one with them, knowing each in intimate communion as your sister, as your brother, as your lover, and your friend. And free will puts us in the driver's seat. We can choose to wait until we shed our glorious flesh garments before we feel the shift into particles, where surfing on light beams is our joyful right. Or we can open in meditation to this glorious expansion and connect with the universe now. The choice is always ours, and so it is. A combination of Jane Marie Thibault and me. So, at Unity Church in Albany, we have some announcements. Can you imagine? If there are prayer chaplains here today, could you stand and raise your hand so folks could see you? They will be Bob, Jack. If you need some prayer after service, Deb, please feel free to see them in the back of the sanctuary and they will pray with you. And of course, we always have our answer box and lots of different ways for prayer. 10:15, we have meditations between the Sunday services. That has restarted, so feel free to join them. I want you to mark Saturday, October 20th on your calendars, because there's a little something for everyone, or there's a lot of something for all people. First, it's our day to actually do the fall cleanup here. So it would be great if a lot of people could show up and help clean up our home, our spiritual home, inside and outside. Begins at 10, ends at 1, and Sam House is running that activity. Then from 2 to 5, we're going to be showing a film called Cracking the Code, Healing Racism. And it's going to be great. It's going to be facilitated by Dahlia Harrington. And she's done a lot of work in this over time. So we're going to watch the first part of this film and then have a facilitated discussion. The second part will be on November 3rd. Everyone's invited. Love offering. And then that evening, we have a coffee house. Open mic night. Starts at 6. Cost is $5. $6 if you want to be part of the talent show. $7 if you want to just watch. And if you have any questions, Gary, who's mercifully doing service on the soundboard today, he can answer any questions you might have after the service. For anybody who would like to become a member, the fall membership class begins on Sunday, October 14th in the library. Prayer class and chaplain training will be given. So if that calls to your heart, Reverend Crystal and Dennis Ryan are head of the prayer team. The Unity Way of Prayer is ultimately aimed at experiencing the divine and realization of the practitioner's divine potential. That will be on Wednesday evenings, October 24th through November 28th, from 7:15 to 9:30 in the Fellowship Hall. On November 4th, Ramadana John E. Welshans, the Wisdom of the Hourglass, he will be here giving service at 9 a.m. and 11, and he will follow it up with a workshop from 1:15 to 3:15. And join us for a Halloween party on October 27th. If you want more details, there's a flyer hanging, and Fred Elfenbein is the guy to see. A little bit of news from the board. Many of you know Terry Bailey. Terry just was here at the 9 a.m. and has just left. We'd like to welcome Terry to the board. So we're very, very excited to have Terry joining us as the alternate. So as Elaine Lazda had a number of commitments in her life and she rolled off, Terry has said yes and joined us. So everybody's thrilled about that. And there are a lot of service opportunities here. And so we invite each and every one of you, if service is calling to you, you're not sure how to get involved, feel free to see anybody on the board, anybody who's been here for a while, and we can have a little chat and see what lights you up and find an opportunity for you. We'll have visioning on the 21st, which is a Sunday afternoon. So you know we did some visioning in April. We're now going to follow up and put some concrete plans in place. But what we need are you, because it's your voices and your wishes and your desires for this community that really drive us forward. So we're hoping for a pretty good turnout on the 21st. As always, check Above the Water Fountain, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or unityalbany.org for more information. Now on to the daily word. I rejoice in unlimited possibilities. Maybe we could say that together. I rejoice in unlimited possibilities. The Apostle Paul describes himself in his second letter to Corinthians as sorrowful yet rejoicing. He calls upon his followers in the Philippi to rejoice in the Lord always. By recognizing and thinking about the positive, the lovely, the excellent, and the praiseworthy energies in my life, I claim them and increase them. I rejoice when I both feel and express the joy of eternal spirit. There is energy in the infinite good that brings all people together in consciousness. I join with others in knowing and affirming that nothing is denied us through faith. I keep my focus on positive energies, bringing them into greater expression in my life. I rejoice in unlimited possibilities. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Philippians 4:4. I'd like to invite the musicians back up. Just one musician back up.
Sorry about that. Good morning. Well, it's a nice day out. It was kind of like this when I wrote this song. It was a breezy summer day. And it was a reminder to me of, of the little touchstones that can kind of bring us back to our center, to that part in us that sort of knows we're good and we're okay even in the midst of things, in the midst of change or uncertainties. Just another perfect day, just another perfect way to remember that it's alright. Just another perfect fifth to help dispel another myth, denying that it's alright. Hey, it's another chance. Hey, optimism is a stance that you can take. Hey, now can be the time we awake from the trance. A garden's only ever going to grow the seeds you plant. Just another perfect storm to help appreciate the warm and sunny days when we know that it's alright. Just another perfect breeze blowing old fond memories from when we could feel that it's alright. Hey, it's another chance. Hey, optimism is a stance that you can take. Hey, now could be the time we awake from the trance. A garden's only ever going to grow the seeds you plant. When the horizon's looking dark, and when the rain only seems to fall where you are, keeping faith is a friend, reminding you that this is just another beginning's end. Just another perfect rain, it helps to cleanse unreleased pain. The clouds are of you, that it's alright. Hey, it's another chance. Hey, optimism is a stance that you can take. Hey, now can be the time we awake from the trance. A garden's only ever going to grow the seeds you plant. Thank you.
Wow. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We also want to thank Pete for stepping up and taking over both of the morning services as well as the 6 p.m. services while Reverend Roger Mock is taking a well-deserved spiritual retreat this week. So thank you for that as well, Pete. And speaking of Reverend Rob, I want to thank him as well because this weekend was our annual retreat. And for those of us who were there, we were completely blown away A lot of us cried all weekend as a purging and a cleansing, and then it was all wrapped up in a healing and a gratitude and a celebration. And so Reverend Rob got, he's looking at me like, I'm not a reverend, stop that. What are you talking about? Rob Geyer blessed us this weekend, and he's blessing us today as he is our special guest speaker. Rob Geyer, thank you very much for joining us. And with all this specialness, we truly know that this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Do we have anyone here for the very first time? Please raise your hand again. We would love someone right here and someone right here. Anyone else? We would love to give you a gift. Also, it's nice to meet you right here, Claude. Also know that right after, see a shy hand back there who was kind of like, no. Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. So know that we welcome you downstairs after the service. There's food, there's drink. Please celebrate the day with us downstairs by being fed that way. And also, since we're welcoming our new people, this is our time to welcome each other. Please, where you are at, I invite you to offer your hand, ask for a hug if it's needed, but at least say hello to your neighbors.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Jackie. You get to hear it twice. That's kind of.
I love it.
Get another hug, Pete. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Jackie.
Oh, I know. It was really good. We had a lot of fun. Maybe next time.
Mm-hmm.
Sanctuary.
And so let us say our statement of oneness together. The power of Christ's love now releases me from any sense of separation from spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. That one is God, the good, omnipotent. And so it is. I ask you to release and let go and prepare for meditation.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Sanctuary, sanctuary for you.
Again.
Sanctuary, sanctuary
morning, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And if you're comfortable, tilt your head slightly upward. Imagine you're looking at a glorious sunrise. Maybe one you remember, maybe one you want to make up. It's absolutely beautiful. Imagine bringing someone to mind that you love. Imagine them sitting right there next to you. Maybe it's not a someone, maybe it's a dear animal of yours. Imagine just being absorbed in that beautiful sunrise. Let's just rest right here. Now, imagine shifting, sort of looking the other direction and seeing a magnificent sunset. So beautiful and so peaceful. Imagine that feeling of being loved. You don't have to do anything or be anything. You're just loved. Remember, this is who you truly are. You are the essence of that love. Rest for a minute right here. Imagine you get to bring this feeling of love with you as you gently come back into this world and this space. Remember, you have this love and feel this love. Hold it inside you as we walk each other home. Gently take a breath in, all the way in, and gently let it out. As you let it out, allow your eyes to softly open. Come back into this sacred space. Amen.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Lord, prepare me.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, sanctuary for you. Sanctuary, sanctuary for you.
Morning. First, I want to thank Reverend Crystal for the invitation to be able to spend time with you this morning. And I want to thank Pete, Jackie, and Jerry for the music. Pete and I conferred, so all the songs that we're singing today are ones that really speak to me, so I appreciate them being part of the service. I'd also like to welcome a couple of special visitors, along with my wife, my daughter, Jenny, and my granddaughter, Kirsten. My grandson, Evan, is off with Miss Trudy. And my mom is here. Her name is Dorothy, and next to her is my friend Jeff, who's been a friend of mine for 45 years since college. So I have to give a little shout out to the streaming community because I have a couple of friends. Hi Jamie, hi Jennifer. That they're watching. Every day we encounter unlimited opportunities to experience life here on this earth. What decisions and choices we make create our own personal experience of the world. And many of these decisions are now second nature to us. So no real thought or exploration happens. We simply choose to do what we've previously done before. Sometimes we're not really fully understanding whether these choices serve us or not. We're usually pretty quick to label them as defining them as either good or bad. This makes it very difficult for us to receive any of the messages they have to share with us or to recognize any of the value contained within them. Had we waited, we might have come to see they were pointing the way toward the light. So what keeps us from waiting? What makes us so quick to repeat our decisions? The answer always feels the same to me. It's fear. And who or what is generating the fear? For me, it's the ego. That part of me whose main function is to protect me and to keep me safe. To make sure I stay separate from the world so that I don't get too close to anything and get hurt. Noble as this may sound, what it does, without meaning to, is to keep me small and disconnected and afraid. The ego conjures up strong feelings like rejection and sadness, and disappointment, and loneliness, and these lead into deeper feelings of unworthiness, of not being enough, of not being loved. And beyond these, it creates a world of conditionality, setting up rules like, I won't be happy until X happens, or its twin, I'll be happy when X happens. And then we see and come to believe the whole world outside of ourselves works according to the same rules. So that we hear something like this: I will love you as long as you give me what I want, make me happy. Each statement is coated with fear, layer on layer. And we think to ourselves, if I don't comply, they won't blank. And we fill in the blank with all sorts of things, all of which boils down to this: they won't love me. And because we see the world through these eyes, and then believe that those around us will act the same way, we're tempted to think that God, Mother, Father, Creator, whatever you refer to, the divine, acts in the same manner. That God has the same kind of expectations and demands. And so we come to know the ultimate fear, which is that God's love is conditional. What's more challenging still is that we often don't feel as though we know the rules. What does God want from me? What does God want from me? How am I supposed to be able to figure that out? Of course, there are people all around you who will tell you what God's plan is for you and for the world. And they say they know, and you should listen to them. And they're fully prepared and invested in sharing their fears with us. It even appears to make them happy. But I sense the truth is that they just want us to join them in the misery. A misery born from fear and from feeling separate. I suspect this may have happened to you. This feeling of being disconnected or confused. Sometimes these feelings can be directed inward. They can freeze us in place and hold us so tightly we can't even move. Perhaps you've tried to escape, but found yourself lost down a rabbit hole or two, or three. Perhaps you've experienced so much fear and pain in your life that it has manifested in physical form, in some kind of sickness or disease. I believe many of us have spent considerable time exploring and investigating the things that have happened to us and sought to find out the reasons why. We may have sat and wondered, what could I have done differently? How could I have found what I was looking for without all this suffering? Or why are all these other people here trying so hard to prevent me from being happy? That's another gambit of the ego that suggests you can find the answer if you keep trying. And although our ego can seem to be the source of trouble, it's not the enemy. We're not served by trying to avoid it or ignore it or eradicate it. Our ego exists to help us to navigate this world. And we need its help. We need it as an ally. We benefit when we foster a relationship where our ego is connected to our heart and to our spirit. So how do we find our way out of this wilderness of fear? How do we hear our inner voice, the one that sets us free? How do we open up to the wisdom inside and observe all the feelings without judgment, to allow them to surface and then release those that we know lead us into the wilderness, and to remember that we have free will We can make any choice we want and shift our attitude. It's been important for me to recognize that I often drive myself to uncover the source of my feelings, believing it's the only way to discover their meaning or to set things right or to feel free. I have a question for you. Have you ever tried to remove old wallpaper? I wonder if your experience is the same as mine. The joy of doing this just recently. Because what happens is we often find another, even uglier wallpaper underneath it. And it can be a frustrating process. It's just like trying to find the root cause for some of our experiences. And if it becomes too frustrating, we may tend to get easily distracted, to decide to do something else, and then we don't go back. This can seem the same regardless of whether you're working on something physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual. You get just so far and bam, you hit the wall. You run into something more difficult to unravel than you have either the time or the skill to handle. So we allow ourselves to become distracted. And if you're really clever, you have a lengthy list of reasons why shifting your attention to something else makes sense to you. It's exhausting and painful and time-consuming and ultimately very unsatisfying and unsuccessful. Now, here's the part that's the good news. Because we can decide to bypass all of the layers and go directly into the center, to our heart and the sacred connection to Source. Here's another question for you. You won't be able to see it, but Kirsten will recognize it. A maze. It's one found in all sorts of kids' books. Kirsten and I do them every once in a while. Did the world train you, did culture train you to be a good boy or a good girl and always start at the beginning? If they did, I'm going to suggest a different route. Next time you attempt a maze, try working from the inside, where the little gold nugget is, outward to the beginning. I've found that it's so much easier. Same thing happens regarding directions. Ignoring the GPS for a minute. If you're somewhere and you want to get somewhere, often you tend to think, how am I going to get there? It's so much easier if you think about where you want to end up and work your way back to where you are. And here's one thought about that process. Is starting on the outside and working in, I don't know about you, but I seem prone to see obstacles. But when I work from the inside out, I seem to find solutions. So how can we release the hard path and embrace the loving, simpler, joyful path? How can we find our way out of the wilderness? I invite you to join me in considering an expanded view of meditation. Meditation that goes both inward, not for specific answers to every problem we're facing, but to rest peacefully in our sacred center and to open wide and feel the connection to the divine. And then to recognize that not all meditation is done while sitting or with your eyes closed. Sometimes it's done while walking in nature, or putting together a puzzle, or when listening to music that frees us, like this. Sometimes meditation is done by holding a baby. Got to hold Kirsten on the day she was born, and her brother Evan and her cousin, Tessa, who's out in Rochester, and Maureen and I can't wait to get out there in a couple of weeks and hold her. Sometimes it's pets, some beloved pet that you have. Meditation is a process of letting go and relaxing thoughts and moving into your heart center, to that space that feels open and sacred. It's here where you're connected to the divine. It's here where all the messages are received from this calm, abundant, radiant space. It's here where there is clarity. In this place, you can allow beliefs that cause you discomfort to fall away, and you can surrender to love. It's not an abandoning of your free will. It's an embracing of the truth that who you really are is love. This is your very core. And that in this core, you know yourself as beautiful and healthy and connected and creative and peaceful. That you're the essence of heaven, and you know you can create this same heaven right here on earth. So how is this done? How can we take this essence of heaven and bring it right here along our journey? No doubt, it may be different for each of us, even different depending on what day it is. Knowing and believing that my true nature is love, my desire and my intention is to create experiences that reflect this truth. So I'm always watching. For me, it's through deep conversations with others, like the retreat this past weekend. Very deep, meaningful conversations with other people. It just brings you into that sacred space where you get to see and feel someone else's heart. It also happens through a hug or a shared smile or seeing and being seen. That feeling of being loved and appreciated for who you are. You don't have to do anything or be anything other than who you are. Sometimes the reflection happens through a simple act of giving or receiving. One created for me or one created by me. Some people feel that one person cannot make a real difference in this world. I don't believe this. So I want to share an idea with you. It's something I'm doing right now. I'm going to make a contribution, a donation. I set myself a minimum to support people in every country of the world. The timetable doesn't matter, and I already know it's going to happen. Along the way, I'm going to create a scrapbook of sorts that will help remind me that I'm connected to everything and everyone here. And I get to share the love and let it pour through me. I can already feel it, and it's a beautiful thing. It makes me feel alive, and for me, it brings heaven to earth. There are other ways to feel alive and to meditate, to connect with the love that is our source. I'm aware now of experiences that create a tenderness inside me. They can happen when I'm reading a book or watching a movie, and they can bring me to tears, and I used to be embarrassed to cry when something like this happened to me. And I was wondering what other people would be thinking about that, but now I see that's a wilderness thought. So if I want to go back into the wilderness, that's the direction I can go. But if I don't, come back in and feel what I'm feeling. Because what other people think, that's up to them. And I adore moments now when I clear the way to feel, truly feel what's happening inside me, feel the sweetness of love, and to remember how it felt in heaven. It was simply divine. I now love to step out of my wilderness and move beyond all that my head and the world tells me. I now love to step into what my heart tells me. to the truth that all things are possible and that all experiences are open to me. Whatever limits or lack I believed in the past, I now know the truth. They're not real. They're just reminders. They're guideposts to show me the way home. They're gifts, really. Maybe it would be helpful for me to share one example with you. Recently, our own beloved Reverend Crystal alerted me that the Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, which I didn't even know existed, was encouraging the submission of proposals to teach an online Spiritual Explorers class. The idea was really attractive to me. I didn't stop to think why. Just went with my initial favorable reaction. So I went to their website and I downloaded the proposal requirements. And I read the accompanying materials and thought, I can do this. I spent a lot of time working on the proposal but could not get myself organized. So I meditated and received a very clear message. What I heard was, you're trying to create this from your head. That's wilderness thinking instead of from your heart. So I shifted and everything slowed down and it was easy to complete. So I submitted it and waited, not patiently, mind you, but I submitted it and waited for an answer. So I meditated some more and received another clear answer that says, talk with your ego. So I did. My ego said, I want them to say yes. Well, a day later, I received an email from the program director. She appreciated my interest but indicated they'd chosen other proposals. So can anyone guess what my ego thought of this decision? I'll spare you the suspense. It wasn't happy. Predictably, my ego's process was, what was wrong with my proposal? I thought it was good. I thought spiritual seekers would enjoy it. Why didn't they pick me? Does that remind you at all of grade school when you're out on the field and you're picking up teams? Pick me! Pick me! Why didn't they pick me? Then gratefully a part of me stood back and observed all that was happening to me in my wilderness. Yes, the pain of rejection, the dent to my self-image and the disappointment, and beneath these, the feelings of fear. And they came out more as statements. They don't think I'm worthy. Worse yet, they don't love me. You ever said these things to yourself? But my ego knows how to protect me. Or would it be better to say my self-image? So it went merrily along its way into blaming. It said, there must be something wrong with them. Wow. The observer in me has had a lot of practice, and gratefully its voice was suddenly loud and insistent. Hey, it's me, your observer. It's time to take a chill pill. How about we do that breathing thing again? You know, the one you call meditation? You know, taking long, slow breaths, one after the other. Oh, good. You're doing it. Keep going. Doesn't it feel great? Yes, that's better. Okay, are you feeling at peace? Sweet, isn't it? Okay, can I tell you something? Here it is. Do you remember all those other times when you got upset, but you quieted down and you remained open, watchful for the gift wrapped up inside? And when you left the wilderness of suffering behind you, you found the valuable pearls sitting and waiting for you. In this inner sacred space connected to the center of love, you discovered and knew every right thing was happening, and that it was all beautiful, You remember, right? And I did calm down, and I did remember, and I did patiently wait until the message became clear. The message was this: with all that I have going on this fall, having one more thing, no matter how seemingly valuable, it would have been crushing for me. Is it surprising that the universe, that God knew this? Is it surprising that God, in God's infinite love, saved me from a great deal of suffering? No, it's not surprising, because I know the universe loves me just as I know the universe loves you. And I'm deeply grateful. I am so grateful to remember how much I'm loved. Now that I saw this clearly, I could shift my perspective from all those fear-based thoughts, leave them all behind and release them into the wind. And I slowed down and breathed and connected with my heart, with the source of all love. That's when I emerged from the wilderness. That's when I let my suffering subside, and when I let all of my limits fall away. That's when I felt earth become like heaven. That's when I felt home. Thank you. And it was. And it will be. I'll say it, and then if you repeat it after. I allow every fear in my life to point the way toward the truth that there is only love. So, please join me. I allow every fear in my life to point the way toward the truth that there is only love.
It's not far to another heart. It's not far to another heart. You can hear it if you listen hard. It's not far. It's not far. It's not far to another's eyes. It's not far to another's eyes. You can see through them if you try. It's not far. It's not far. It's not far to another land. It's not far to another land. If you walk there, you may understand. It's not far. It's not far. It's not far to the other side. It's not far to the other side. You can build a bridge. You can swim there if you like. It's not far. It's not far. It's not far to another heart. It's not far to another heart. You just reach out from where you are. It's not far. It's not far. It's not far. It's not far.
Hello? Granddad, is that all right? All right. So what did you learn today?
Being nice.
Being nice.
Being a good son.
Being a good what? Friend. Oh, we can all learn that, can't we? And we can all learn about being nice, can't we?
Being nice.
Being nice. Well, thank you so very much. So can we offer you a blessing? All right. So how about you turn it on, everybody? And what they're doing now is they're singing love. When you do this, you're singing love. You know what we're singing it to? To you. And also to all the young people that we envision up here, and the young person who's sitting right there. And so let us say a moment of worship.
We love you, we bless you, and we behold the Christ in you. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed to know that Spirit is our source. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. Amen.
When I was a kid, each week, Sunday I would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Hey, the only difference is everything is holy now.
Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time and Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine, and I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle.
Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle.
Wine from water is not so small, but
An even better miracle.
Is there anything here at all? So the challenging thing becomes
Not to look for miracles, but find him where there isn't one.
When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
Read a questioning child's face
And say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done.
This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out. Oh, how things have changed since then. But everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Have you come to earth? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? Why have you come to love, to serve and remember, to love, to serve and remember? Why have you come to earth? Do you remember?
have you taken birth? Why have you come to love, to serve and remember, 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 to love, to serve and remember.
And so together, let us say our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well. Yay, God. Amen. Please, fill yourself up with food and drink downstairs. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed week.
cooperating today. That's nice. Oh, really? Check. Check, 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 check. Testing, 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 testing. Working? Check, 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 check.